Welcome back, my people. We are back. 2023 is upon us. The holiday season is over. And you're with your boy, Dean Ferezza, on episode 7 of Blowing Steam. Last time we spoke, the New York Jets still had a shot at making the playoffs. The Giants were a shoo-in to get in. The New York Mets signed Carlos Correa. Boy, oh boy, has a lot changed. Some of it not so good. Some of it pretty good. Obviously, the Jets did what they did best. They jetted. They completely no-showed 2 weeks ago against the Seattle Seahawks. I don't even think the team got off the fucking plane. I really don't. I don't think they got off the fucking plane. And we're going to get into it. But that game and the team not showing up, prepared, ready to play, one of the bigger games in a decade for the franchise, complete indictment on Robert Saleh and the whole coaching staff. We'll get into that, but the big breaking news today, Carlos Correa. As we know, the Mets were going back and forth after the deal that the Mets had that we thought he struck with the Mets, $300 million, 12 years. We got into it. The physical was worse than the Mets originally believed. So we were going back and forth, this 19-day fiasco, trying to restructure the contract, get the deals done, get Correa to Flushing. And what do we have now? Correa goes back to Minnesota. Yep. 6 years, $200 million. Listen, I'm upset. I am upset because the addition of Correa, in my mind, put the Mets over the top to where we were a World Series of bust talk. That was it. That was the final addition, the last piece of the pie that the Mets were so desperately seeking. Correa's gone. He takes 6 years, goes back to Minnesota, $200 million, and the other years on the contract, from what we're understanding now, from what's being reported, the years after year 6 are going to be guaranteed based on at-bats. So year 7, Correa would have to have 500 minimum at-bats in order to earn the contract. So on and so forth, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11, year 12. Where do I stand as a Mets fan? I'm 50-50 on it. Again, I'm upset because of the aspect of Correa was, and I thought would be, the piece that put the Mets over the edge, the piece that put the Mets back in the World Series, probably winning the World Series. Step back from that for a second. The Mets, for once, actually did a smart business deal. Here's why. The Mets doctors must have looked at this ankle, this surgically repaired ankle of Correa, and thought in their mind, there's no way this kid makes it 5 years on a deal without this ankle becoming a problem. And listen, I'm not a doctor. I didn't look at the x-rays. We as the public don't even know what the real deal is with the x-ray, with the structurally repaired ankle. But I'm going to trust the Mets on this one, and here's why. Steve Cohen, since he's owned the team, has done nothing but spend the money on top players, and he's shown that he doesn't care how much dollars it's going to take to bring in the top players. He's going to do it. So this wasn't the Mets getting outbidded. This wasn't the Mets losing out to another team on a superstar player. This is the Mets actually, for once, sitting back, looking at the fact that the Giants team doctors probably also saw the same thing. See, I didn't think at the beginning it really was an issue, the medical issue. I thought maybe the Giants just thought they overpaid, so they wanted to get out of the contract. So they brought up the ankle issue to get out of the contract. It's not the case with the Mets. I think that the Mets actually sat down, Epler, Cohen, the Mets team doctors, they sat down, they looked at this, and they said, listen, the ankle's no good. He's not even going to make it to year 5 without it being a problem. We signed him for 12 years. This is going to be a dead contract at the end, towards the end of the contract. The Mets did restructure the contract, but they restructured it at their price. 5 years was offered, $157 million. It was the same annual AAV as the big contract that they sent Correa. And Correa went back to the Twins for more money. I actually credit the Mets for not overextending themselves because of the big name player. And I credit the Mets in the fact they see that it's a problem. This organization now, with this owner, they've earned my trust. If Cohen thought it was a problem, and Epler thought it was a problem, and the team doctors thought it was a problem, let them walk. Good luck to you. Enjoy the freezing cold in Minnesota in April. It's going to be real good on those bones, especially that brittle ankle of yours. Enjoy. This isn't the Mets getting outbidded. If Cohen wanted him, you don't think Cohen would have matched the offer from the Twins? The guy hasn't gotten outbidded by anybody. The only reason why they got outbidded by the Rangers is because DeGrom didn't fucking return the phone call. You don't think the Mets would have matched the DeGrom contract? Are you out of your fucking mind? So let's pump the brakes on this woe is me shit with the Mets. Does it suck that Correa's not coming here? Yeah, it sucks because we got hyped up over a signing that we thought would be the piece that would put us over the edge. It is what it is. The Mets still have a good team. They still have the top-ranked third baseman in baseball, prospect-wise, in Beatty. That's it. Gotta let the kid play now and let him prove himself. And you know what it does when the Mets save $300 million? Do you know who's becoming available next year in free agency? I'll give you 2 names. Shohei Ohtani and Machado. Manny Machado. You don't think the Mets are going to be in on either one of those guys? Now that they took back the $300 million from Correa? You don't think that's in the back of Epler's mind, in the back of Cohen's mind? We might have lost this one, but we'll get another one. We'll add another chip to the fucking pot. Don't worry about it. Met fans have to trust ownership now because ownership deserves that trust. This isn't the fucking Will Ponds, okay? Where the piggy bank might have been fucking too tight and they couldn't afford the contract and they overbid more than they could chew. This is the Mets actually making a smart baseball decision. Good luck to Carlos Correa. I wish him the best. When it's 15 degrees in April and he's playing games outside of Target Field in Minnesota. Hope that ankle holds up, bud. Fuck him. That's my opinion on it. Fuck him. He was never here. It was announced there was a signing and he was gone. Didn't even see a press conference where he was introduced. As far as I'm concerned, it was just all limbo. So that's where I stand on that. I'm actually happy the Mets made a smart business decision underneath the guidance of a man who's done nothing but make smart business decisions his whole life to become a fucking billionaire. We can live with it. The fucking fat Frank the Tanks and the rest of the fucking woe is me Met fans out there, they'll cry themselves a fucking river. I can live with it. I can definitely live with it. Tell you something I can't live with anymore? The New York fucking Jets. Last time we spoke, I had my hopes up once again. Why? I have zero fucking idea. Zero idea, no clue. Why, Dean, would you do this to yourself again? Suck yourself back in to the fucking bottomless pit, which is the New York Jets organization. Why? Why would you do it? Because I'm desperate. That's fucking why. I'm desperate. I'm desperate to see the Jets in the fucking playoffs. It's been 12 fucking years. 12 fucking years. I was a senior in high school the last time the Jets made the fucking playoffs. Long time ago. Long time ago. I'm desperate. I'm a season ticket holder. I spend money on the fucking team. I want a return on my investment. Make the playoffs. And you know what's sad? For the first 10 weeks of the season, I really thought the team was good enough to do it. And I thought they could make a fucking run in the playoffs. But boy, oh boy, they didn't even get off the fucking plane Sunday 2 weeks ago against the Seattle Seahawks. They must have been fucking partying all night long, New Year's Eve, and they looked like absolute dog shit. Dog shit. From the fucking opening kickoff to the last whistle, the Jets were absolute dog shit. And you know who I'm going to blame most? The fucking coaching staff, and mainly Robert Saleh. At that point, you're on a 5-game skid. 5-game skid. Playoffs slipping through your fingers. You get a gift Christmas weekend. Games falling your way. Teams not wanting to make the playoffs. Opening the door for your team to make the playoffs for the first time in a decade and 2 years. One of the biggest games the franchise has had in a long time. And your fucking players were not ready to play. And that, my friends, is a huge, huge indictment on this coaching staff. If you can't get your players up and ready to go in a game that means your playoff life and extending the season, you've lost the message in the locker room, and the players are no longer responding to you. That's what I think. I think Robert Saleh should have been fired after that game. Him, Matt LaFleur, pack it up. See you later. Would have fired them both. Would have promoted the DC to interim head coach for the last game, because I'll tell you one thing. They play hard for the fucking defensive coordinator. The defense plays hard. The defense played their ass off this week in Miami, and the offense was a complete fucking no-show. Want a stat? Since week 11, the Jets are averaging 11.5 points per game. Pathetic. Pathetic. Of course the Jets would not get, the right LaFleur. No. The guy that has done nothing but win since he got to Green Bay. Although they didn't make the playoffs this year. Shout out to Dan Campbell and the Lions. Those boys came to play Sunday night. Smacked Aaron around. Aaron Rodgers talking about this might be it for him. I have a feeling the whole Aaron Rodgers thing is going to play out just like the Brett Favre thing. Every year, the Packers thought Favre was retiring. He came back. Every year, he thought he was retiring. He came back. So, I think Rodgers is full of shit. I think he'll be back in Green Bay next year. But, that's neither here or there. We didn't get that LaFleur. No. We got the little brother who runs a Pop Warner offense with no creativity. And his offense was putrid over the last 7 weeks of the season. 3 of those games, actually more than 3 of those games, to his credit, he had to deal with Zach Wilson at quarterback, who's completely incompetent. We've talked about this 100 times. Zach Wilson, complete fucking joke. His comment yesterday to the media that he's gonna make a veteran quarterback's life hell if they bring in a veteran quarterback. I mean, granted, what do you want the kid to say? You don't want the kid to say, oh, that's great, they're bringing in a veteran quarterback. You want to kind of see a little bit of competitive fire. Great. But, guy, not the comment you make. Just not the comment you make when you just shitted on yourself in a year where the Jets wouldn't make the playoffs if you were just okay. If you were just okay. You couldn't even be okay. You couldn't be middle of the pack. That's all we needed, was a middle of the pack quarterback. A game manager. That's what we needed. You couldn't even do that. So please, do us a favor. When the media is asking you questions, just shut your fucking mouth. Just shut your fucking mouth, Zach. Really. That's from Jet fans to you. Just shut your fucking mouth. Nobody wants to fucking hear it. So yeah, the Jets get embarrassed, as only the Jets could. Seattle walks all over them, and it's like the NFL knew. If you had to write a storybook ending to the Jets season of how tragic and horrible the Jets could end the season, they knew. Let's do it so that the Jets get eliminated against former quarterback Geno Smith, who, by the way, made the playoffs with the Seahawks after the Packers lost on Sunday night, who also, by the way, broke the single-season passing yard record for the Seattle Seahawks this past Sunday, who, by the way, after years of going from team to team, might have finally figured it out on how to play quarterback at the NFL. But it's just the irony that the Jets would lose to the guy that they drafted, were trying to make the franchise quarterback, got his broad joking, got kicked out of town. They would lose to that guy and eliminate themselves from the playoffs. We all knew it was coming. If you're a Jet fan, you saw this, you saw the writing on the wall. You knew this was happening. As optimistic as you might have been, the pessimist in you knew this was what was going to happen, because it's just the Jet way. It's just the Jet way. So now, Jet season's over. Will they fire LaFleur? I don't know. Personally, he should have been given his pink slip on the Monday after the game. He's still around. I know he's fucking Salah's best friend, so this is why I said Salah and LaFleur need to be fired together, because it's not going to happen. Salah is always going to give LaFleur the benefit of the doubt because they're best friends. I have no time for friendships with this team. Sorry. LaFleur should have been handed a fucking pink slip. See you later, buddy. It's not working out. Still love you, but it's just not working out. He should have been gone. But he's still here. How much longer? I don't know. I just can't. I can't anymore. I can't. The aggravation and misery and depression that this franchise causes me, it's sickening. It's sickening. I just can't do it anymore. I don't ask for much. I just ask, just give me something 1 year. Just 1 year, give me something. Team's pathetic. Pathetic. Show you how pathetic the team was. The Monday after the loss on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins, where they couldn't even cover the fucking spread, fumble the ball out of the end zone and take a safety on the last play of the fucking game. Okay? Couldn't cover the spread. Joe Flacco needs to fucking retire. Either retire, go to an old age home, or, just remove yourself from football, because, dude, you're horrible. You look unmotivated. You can't throw a fucking out, a 5-yard out to an open receiver. You move like the fucking Michelangelo statue in fucking Rome. All right? Mobility-wise, Flacco's got to retire. And please, God, do not have him on this roster next year. I don't give a fuck if he's a mentor. I don't care if he's good in the building. Please, for the love of God, do not bring back Joe Flacco next year. Jets offseason celebrated on their Instagram their fucking schedule the day after losing to Miami, embarrassingly. That's what they celebrated. They celebrated their schedule for the 2023 season. I can't wait for my ticket rep to call me. I can't wait. I am going to tell the Jets to suck my fucking dick. You want me to renew my tickets? Prove to me that you're going to win, is what I'm going to say. Go sign a quarterback. Go upgrade this offensive line. Prove to me you're going to do things that are conducive to winning, and maybe I'll invest my money in you. Because I'm tired of it. I'm done. I've had enough. I've had a fucking enough. The Giants have a very winnable game on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. 4:25 kickoff at Minnesota. Listen, Minnesota's as beatable as anybody in the playoffs. They are beatable. Kirk Cousins is just not that guy. I know he's a regular season hero. He's just not that guy. He makes too many mistakes. The Giants' defense is good enough where they can create havoc for him. All you got to do is get Cousins moving his feet a little bit in the pocket, and he throws the ball like a Mary. He throws it up for fucking grabs. He doesn't protect the ball well either, so the pass rush has got to get in there, swiping at the ball as he's trying to throw. This is a winnable game for the Giants. The Giants have the pieces to win this game because they can run the ball with Saquon Barkley, and Minnesota's defense is not that fucking good. They can run the ball with Barkley. They can control the clock. And if they keep the offense off of the field for the Minnesota Vikings, which isn't that great to begin with, but if they keep the Minnesota Vikings offense off of the field enough and control the clock, the Giants are going to win the game. And I said it to all my friends. The Giants are my dark horse to win the Super Bowl. It's just setting up in my mind so much like the 07 and 11 seasons, where the Giants weren't thought of much going into the season. They have a good regular season. They outperform their preseason expectations by miles, and then it comes playoff time and people are still talking about the other teams that they're competing against and how badly they're going to lose. I got to tell you something. I really do think they can make a run to the Super Bowl. I don't know what their odds are right now to make the Super Bowl, but I would bet it. I would 100% bet the Giants right now to make the Super Bowl. That's my dark horse. To make it. I don't know what the odds are for them to make it. I would bet them. I would also bet them to win it. It looks too much like 07 and 11. It looks too much like it. I'm not a Giants hater. My grandfather, God rest his soul, I love you, Poppy, diehard Giants fan. So whenever the Giants were in the playoffs, I wanted to see my grandfather happy. And I wanted my grandfather to be a winner, especially as it got later on in his life. So I don't hate the Giants. I have love for the Giants, and I really do hope the Giants make a run deep into this playoffs. And God damn it, the Minnesota Vikings are so fucking beatable, they can fucking do it. I'm telling you, they can do it. I think Giants fans believe they can do it too. There's just these years where when everything just comes together for the Giants. Comes together. They beat Minnesota. I think they could beat Philly too. I got to be honest with you in the next round. I really do think they could beat Philly. The Giants 2s were causing fits against the Eagles 1s last week at the Link. Fits. They were in that game. You know? They were in that game. That's a touchdown game. They were playing their 2s and 3s against the Eagles 1s. It's a winnable game on Sunday for the Giants. I hope they pull it out. I have a lot of friends that are Giants fans. I know my grandfather's up there watching. I really, really do hope they pull this one out. We'll see. We shall see. It's good to be back. This is episode 7. I'll be back sometime before the NFL games. Maybe go through some picks for this weekend. But I just wanted to talk about a few things, get on here. We haven't spoken about the Jets. The Correa thing just came out. I wanted to speak about the Giants. And I covered all the points that I really wanted to cover today. So I'll be back with episode 8. Figure Friday. We'll probably drop something on Friday afternoon. Give out the weekend picks for the NFL playoff slate. This has been Blowing Steam with Dean. Love you guys. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.